Too fat, too hairy, too bald, too short. If you ask around, it seems everyone can find some fault in their body, and increasingly, they're taking extreme measures to address those faults. In India, right now, there's a trend towards elective surgery to make people taller. For about $15,000, a doctor will break your legs and separate the fragments of bone. The body starts filling the gap and regenerating the bone immediately, so the bones are pulled apart again and again and again. The process repeats, effectively lengthening the limbs. The surgery isn't available for cosmetic purposes in Canada, but it's big business in India. And as the country's middle class grows, the requests keep mounting. Dr. Amar Sarin is an orthopedic surgeon in India. He's been performing the procedure since the early 90s, and he joins me from Delhi. Dr. Sarin, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Brent. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for being with us. For our listeners who may not be familiar with this process, can you give me an example of how much taller you can make someone?
By all the literature and all this thing for the last 50 years, that means it has been reported around 18 centimeters to 20 centimeters. And in extreme condition, a single leg where, there is a disease, 25 centimeter.
25 centimeters.
But as for the height enhancement surgery, we have to be very cautious and safe that we don't do any kind of a damage. So we restrict ourselves up to 7 to 8 centimeters in legs, and same thing in the thighs.
Okay, so what kind of, when you mention damage, what kind of complications could come out of this? This seems like an extremely invasive process. What could go wrong?
See, it is a very complex procedure when you do a height increase surgery, and you are doing an unnatural thing that, like, you are lengthening bone, you're lengthening muscles, you're lengthening arteries, and you're lengthening nerves. And one of the biggest problem is the nerves. You cannot keep on stretching nerve to the every level.
Yes.
Yeah, because nerve is a very sensitive thing, and it can cause a paralysis in the particular muscle or maybe the full leg. So these things have to be prevented from the day one.
Okay, so Dr. Sarin, let's talk about your own ethical attitude towards this procedure, because it is a doctor's responsibility to do no harm. And you're breaking the legs of healthy people to provide sometimes a cosmetic service. How do you justify that ethically?
Well, I would not call it as a cosmetic procedure, number one. Why? It's a life-changing procedure. Right. And we take only those candidates, where their daily issues and their life is seriously hampered because of, their low self-esteem and for these things. Yes, initially, like in 95, 96, the person used to come for height increase. I never took it seriously. I used to discourage them. When I took it seriously, I used to think that is it ethical or it is not. But when you are changing the life of a person, I feel very happy. I'm changing the life of a person.
But
better.
But as it becomes more popular, as the price goes down and it becomes more available, as there is more medical tourism because of the availability of this service, do you not worry that the self-esteem will become less of an issue? It becomes more important for cosmetic reasons because of the availability and the accessibility of the procedure.
See, like in my career, I must have counseled around, say, 5,000 to 7,000 people, for height increase, and every year I get 600 to 800 queries a month, so it makes in thousands. And I do only 25 surgeries. So what happens is this thing is not going to grow. The surgeon cannot lure a person to come for cosmetic. This is not a cosmetic thing. You have to look into all the angles of the person, that why he needs it.
Okay, so you are satisfied with your own ethical responsibility, but this is an unregulated industry. So, first of all, does that create a risk for you because there are people doing this that really shouldn't be doing it? And does it create a risk for patients who probably shouldn't be taking that risk?
Let me tell you one thing. It is the most complex, the orthopedic surgery ever known, right? And the people would not lie down anywhere just like that because it's a cosmetic surgery and this thing. They do their proper research, right? And they cannot be lured by low cost and all this thing.
Okay, so
Yes.
but are you satisfied that there are no unregulated practitioners who are abusing this opportunity?
The conscious plays a very big role in anybody's surgeon's life, and no surgeon wants to do a harm. He can do one surgery or two surgeries. After that, there'll be alarm raised, and then the legal system is there.
Okay, so this procedure is expensive. It costs a lot of money. What do you say to criticism that this is more about your profits than it is about practicing good medicine?
To be very frank, there is hardly any profit. Most of the time, $5,000 is to stay in India for 4 months, right?
Yes.
So the total surgery costs $10,000.
Okay,
right?
so then why do you do it? Why is it interesting to you if not for the profit?
I love it. And frankly, if I confess, my daughter is small, right? And she always wants, make me tall. You make people tall.
Did you do this procedure on your daughter?
I will. If I can't do it on my daughter, right, I have no right to do it on anybody else.
Can you tell me about a patient who told you that their life was changed for the better as a result of becoming taller through this procedure?
Oh, there are plenty. You must have read the article in Guardian. There was a name given for the girl, right?
Yes.
And this girl is 28 and she is 4'6" or 4'7". And the ultimate thing for Indian parents in a smaller town and a village is to get their girl married, right? And here is the stigma. The girl is so short that whenever they show a guy or guy comes to see her, he will outrightly reject her. She will lock her room. She will howl, right? Like, I don't want to see, I don't want to get married. Till she became tall. She became tall. You must see her self-esteem. So this is what it is. This is how the life is changed.
Dr. Sarin, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Amar Sarin is an orthopedic surgeon in Delhi. If you want to see a graphic of how this limb lengthening procedure works, it's on our website, cbc.ca/day6.